Welcome to Airborne on staugustine.com. I'm your host, Matt Jeffs, and we have a special guest in the studio today in the Eclipse Recording Company studios, Gove Scrivener. Gove, how are you,
Thanks,
sir?
Matt. Good to see you.
Hey, good to have you as well.
It's a treat.
You are a regular at the Gamble Rogers Folk Festival, aren't you?
Have been. I haven't done it in the last couple of years
Yeah.
since they started moving it around a little bit, and they're adding a lot of new blood, and that's a good thing.
Exactly.
You know, it's a great festival.
But you've gone back for some time there. I remember your name on a lot of the billing, and it's so good to have you
I
here.
think 3 years in a row.
Is that right? From where do you draw your background? What types of styles just spoke to you and built your library, so to speak?
Well, I grew up in Connecticut, and my father had been in a swing band at Virginia Tech. When he graduated from Virginia Tech, he moved up to Connecticut, and as history would have it, I guess, he got to be friends with Benny Goodman and Red Nichols and the Five Pennies. And of course, I was 5 and 7 and 9, whatever years old, and really could have cared less. But except the music got me going.
Oh yeah. I
never adapted that into my style. I really got started playing at all as a result of the Newport Folk Festivals in the early 60s through the middle 60s.
Right.
As it happened, I was in the Navy and I was stationed in New London. So that was 40 miles from Newport Folk Festival, number one. As far as being able to attend every summer to go to those festivals. And what a ball with Joan Baez and Tom Rush and Bob Dylan and Dylan's first electric thing and all that. The folk scare of the 60s, I guess, is what they call
the great folk scare of the 60s. It almost caught on.
And I drew my first crowd. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget drawing my first little crowd. I was 19, I guess, still in the Navy, and 18 or 19, and I was sitting under a tree way away from any of the main stages, you know, just minding my own business and little short hair, and I wasn't in uniform, and I think I was singing Blowing in the Wind or All My Trials to myself pretty much. I had my eyes closed, as I always do, it seems, when I'm playing, and I looked up and there were 15 or 20 pairs of legs around me, you know.
You're also one who's willing to do, and I wanted you to touch on with our audience about house concerts. Tell us about why you do them, why you like them. What is it about house concerts? What are house concerts to those?
Well, house concerts are just an alternative now to the old, what used to be the old bar scene in some coffee houses, and that are virtually non-existent now.
Right.
And so folks are hosting their favorite singer-songwriters in their homes.
Yes.
And getting on their own little email list, and all we need is 15 to 35 people in your living room. And us singer-songwriters come just a-bopping into town, and we perform as if we were at Carnegie Hall.
You get 3 squares in a house to sleep
3
in.
Squares in a house to sleep in as a rule, and always making new and wonderful friends. And that's the bonus of it. And to be perfectly honest with you, it pays well compared to anything you do in the bar scene or whatever.
Imagine that. You know, I can't help but notice that by your right elbow there is a guitar.
Yeah.
You care to
share
it with us a little bit and tell us a little bit about what we're going to do here, what we're going to hear?
I don't know. I wasn't sure if we were going to play anything. I'm kind of tickled with this song. Speaking of the old folk days, Tom Paxton wrote this. It's not one of mine, and it was one of his first tunes, really, that he wrote, and it also became his biggest song. He heard this version of it on the Made a Sand CD and sent me a little email and said, "You know, Gov, that song's been cut 295 times." And I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, and yours is my 3rd favorite version." So I don't know what we do there, you know, but I'm flattered.
Did you ask him who the first two were?
No. The first is going to have to be him.
Yeah, I hope so.
So who's that other booger? Anyway, it's an old familiar tune. Sing along, everybody. It's called Last Thing on My Mind. You say, listen, too late for the learning. Made of sand, made of sand. And in the wink of an eye, my soul is turning in your hand, in your hand. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind. Now you got reasons, plenty for going. This I know, this I know. For the weeds have been steadily growing. But please don't go, please don't go. Are you going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, I didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind. As I lie in my bed in the morning, without you, without you. Each song in my breast dies a mourning, without you, without you. Going away with no word of farewell? Will there be not a trace left behind? I could have loved you better, baby, I didn't mean to be unkind. That was the last thing on my mind. That was the last thing on my mind. That was the last thing on my mind.
That was magic.
Thank you.
That was tremendous. We got our crew here clapping in the background there. My goodness.
Well, thanks, sir.
Mesmerizing. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, Matt, very much.
Oh, I love your work. Well, we just love having you here. This was terrific.
Thanks.
I've heard so many great things about you. I haven't caught them all of some of your past performances at the festival. I hope we'll have you come back on a regular basis to St. Augustine and also to Airborne here. I'd love
Thank
to
you.
have
I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, this is terrific. Having you perform.
I'll bring you some more notes,
Yeah, you gotta keep gotta keep it idiot proof.
Keep my notes in order.
You gotta keep it idiot proof for the host, folks.
Here's a CD, by the way.
Oh, by the way, thank you
mention
for that. Yeah, this is lovely. If people want to learn more, where can they find this?
Well, that'll be at cdbaby.com.
cdbaby.com. There we go. I got it in the frame there, and we'll post it as well.
Appreciate it very much.
And thank you again, Gov. It's so good to have you, man.
Good to be here.
Beautiful.
Do it again.
Folks, we sure will. I hope so. Thanks. That's been Airborne. You always can check us out here on staugustine.com, bringing interesting people from your world so you can stay dialed into your community and the folks who make it tick. See you next time, everybody.
remember that one. That's a sweetie too.
Airborne rock.